Hello and welcome back to another Let's Play Planet Zoo. My name is Chris, and this is episode 22 of Perseid Zoo. In this episode we begin work on our Arctic wolves, or Arctic wolf exhibit. I guess we can call it Arctic wolves, because there are two of them in there. Anyway, this is the Arctic wolf exhibit. Again, it's kind of following the same mountain that we've been working on for the last, I don't know, several episodes. And this is the final, well, not really the final part of the mountain, but the final face of the mountain, I guess, that we are working on with our Arctic wolves here. The polar bears will kind of continue a little bit around the mountain, but they're going to have a bit of a glacier coming off the mountain for their exhibit. So this is the last true face of the mountain, at least the last part that we've terraformed, is our Arctic wolf exhibit here. Now, since these animals here are in the Arctic, it's of course going to be a very, very snowy exhibit. Going to have a lot of snow features down, a lot of the rock and snow features down, or sorry, the snow rocks down. Gonna have a lot of kind of pines, which I didn't realize at the time. If you look at the Zoopedia, so this is my one little gripe right now. Well, there might be other gripes. I can't promise anything, but so if you look at the Zoopedia for the Arctic wolf, it lists their continent as North America. You know, that's true. Their continent is North America, you know, and their biome is, I think, tundra and taiga. But when you place them and go look at their, excuse me, when you place them and go look at their foliage requirements, it lists their continent as Arctic. Arctic. There's no such thing as a continent Arctic. They're from North America. What? I don't know. It bugged me because I built this entire exhibit and then like went to check their habitat, you know, their habitat requirements, and it's like, oh, we hate everything in this exhibit. These are not from the continent Arctic. What are you doing? You know, it's like, you're from North America. Why? Why did they like? And like even the Zoopedia says like North America. Like, who QA'd this? This is ridiculous. We don't have any scenery items, or sorry, not scenery items, any nature items that are from the continent Arctic. This is why I play in Sandbox. It's ridiculous. Anyway, like I was saying, we're working on our... Yes, calm down now, Chris. The rant is over. It's good. It's good. Anyway, like I was saying, we are working on the last face of the mountain here, so just putting the rock work in to kind of cap the final piece of the peak here. This video looks a little more jerky than my other ones is because I sped it up, I think, 8 times from the usual 4. Trying to put a lot more content into the videos, get them to, so we don't have, for example, the Dall Sheep videos. You know, there were 2 of them. There was one that was like a half hour long and another one that was like 19 minutes long. So I'm going to try to fit them all into between like half an hour and 40 minutes and just have one video as the exhibit rather than split them out. I mean, there might be some where we do split out. For example, the African Savannah exhibit that I have planned. Like, that's going to be a massive exhibit. It'll probably be the size of, you know, the timber wolf exhibit we got down there, the Dall Sheep exhibit, the Arctic wolf exhibit, and maybe even including the future polar bear exhibit. You know, that scale for the exhibit I have planned, because I want to build a exhibit that looks like it has no barriers, like all the animals could theory, interact with each other and hang out with each other, so that when you look at it, it looks like one continuous African savanna exhibit. I mean, we'll do some tricks with the scenery so that we can kind of keep some of the animals away from each other, but at the same time, you know, I think it's gonna be pretty neat. So, but that'll probably be, like I said, split over multiple episodes. But from now on, I'm gonna try to keep, you know, instead of Dall Sheep Part 1 and 2, Timber Wolves Part 1 and 2, one video for the entire exhibit, start to finish. So we'll see how it goes. I may change it, but anyway, putting all the snow features on this mountain. Again, this is the more Arctic side, the colder side of the mountain. I remember from the Timber Wolves, as you walk around the mountain, from the Timber Wolves to the Dall Sheep to the Arctic Wolves and then to the polar bears. The whole thought behind this mountain is that it's going to be, you know, getting colder as you walk around it. You know, you're moving into different environments. So the Timber Wolves were more temperate, the Dall Sheep kind of tundra, kind of temperate, you know, kind of transitioning, like colder, drier, but not really, you know, the same lush tundra environment, or sorry, the same lush temperate environment that we have for the Timber Wolves. And then over here, we're starting to hit the Arctic. You know, we've still got a little bit of pine forest. Obviously, it's colder. There's a lot more snow. And then when we finally get to our polar bears, that'll be like full-blown Arctic with glacier and not a whole lot of foliage, just kind of more rock work. So yeah, it's transitioning nicely, I think. These snow pieces, these snow rocks are wonderful, definitely worth. Were these in the Arctic update or were they in the free update? I can't remember. If they were in the DLC, definitely worth the price of the DLC just for these rocks. Having something you can kind of just, you know, tuck in here and there and not have to paint the snow terrain and have to worry about coolers and, you know, all that stuff. Yeah, these are nice. They're a nice addition to the game. Makes these kind of snowy mountaintops more believable and also a whole lot easier to make than, again, terrain painting. So so yeah, I like these rock pieces, and also they have a really nice texture. I mean, all the rock pieces do, but you know, they kind of just blend with each other seamlessly. So it's really nice. Long story short. Most of this video, I think, for the first half is all just going to be rock work. You can really lose yourself in the rock work in this game. It looks really good, and it's like, I mean, I keep saying this, their textures do look really good. But it's one of those things where you start doing it, and it's very rewarding. You know, you step back, you look at it, and go, yeah, that actually looks convincing. Yeah, so I kind of lose myself in the rock work in this game. It's therapeutic almost, you know, a little bit of zen. Yeah, I mean, you can see right here as we kind of step back, with the snow pieces and then with these tundra rocks. I like that they tag the snow ones tundra and then the ice ones as well. Well, maybe not so much the ice ones. I didn't really use those a whole lot in this build, but I like that they tag the snow rocks and the well, I guess the tundra rocks would, of course, obviously be tagged tundra, but I'm glad that they tag the snow rocks tundra as well, so then I can just type in one search term and I don't have to, you know, okay, back to snow. You know, it saves time. Probably not a whole lot of time, but yeah, every second counts, right? Yeah. Some of these little nooks and crannies were a little bit trickier than others, mainly because you have to use the smaller rocks to kind of set them in there, but in order to get kind of more of a convincing look, you gotta start dropping a whole ton of them, where you gotta bury some of these bigger rocks, you know, just barely in there. It just kind of gets, I don't want to say to the point of being tedious, but it's tedious. I'm not gonna say it's tedious, but you know. Yeah, so it's. But again, the end result is very rewarding. So, and even though we had the rock barrier already from the Timberwolf side, I wanted to build it out this way on the Arctic Wolf side, so it doesn't look like it's just the back of another exhibit. You know, when we were building the Timberwolf one out, we were looking at it from that side, so the rocks look really good from that perspective. But over here, they look a little more thrown together and haphazard and not very good. So we just kind of add some more rocks back here to make a little bit of a cliff wall. You know, again, it's really just acting as a wall between the exhibits, but it looks better than a, you know, just straight concrete wall that would be back here. Now throughout the exhibit, I want to add some kind of rocky outcroppings, similar to what we did over in the Great Plains exhibit, where we kind of have these little cliff faces dotted here and there, just to add a little bit of texture to the mountain. You know, make it not look so flat, and you know, just give it something that when you're down there, on ground level looking up, obviously this is going to be a little bit more heavily forested, but I guess that's not obvious because I didn't tell you guys that. So if you are a mind reader and you already knew that, good for you, but for the rest of you, it's probably not obvious that this is going to be heavily forested. But yeah, so I mean, it'll be pretty heavily forested, and you probably won't see this, but it'll still give you kind of an eye-catching view, or you know, something to catch your eye, because it'll break up the terrain a little bit. And we also drop a couple more of these further down to make the edge of the exhibit. I kind of add a cliff that goes all the way around. Now, yes, in theory, the animals could probably jump off and, you know, escape, but they don't do that in this game, so I'll play by the game's rules for once and say it's fine. You know, we don't need a, you know, fence down by the base of the mountain next to the creek. We'll just put a cliff. It's okay. But anyway. Again, I want to make this look like it's really cold, like the snow pretty much stays all year long. So I want to make it really dense, really kind of piled up, and then it's only melting where, you know, it would like blow off the rocks, or, you know, the rocks will retain heat. So when you get a new snowfall, you know, they'll warm up first and you know, melt the snow that's on top of it. Now, I had an idea here, you saw it just real quick, and that's kind of why I paused, is that to put some of the snow into or some of these snow rocks into the trees to make the trees look a little more snow covered. The closest one I got was the like the pillar rock, that like cladding pillar one. But it didn't look right. I didn't feel like fiddling with it for every single tree that I'm about to plop down here, so so yeah, we just kind of ignore that and plop down trees instead. I do eventually go through and down the little snow rocks kind of down the base of the trees, so that, and we'll see here. I'll talk about it when we get there. I'm getting ahead of myself again. But anyway, yeah, we're adding the foliage here. Just again, lots of trees. I want it to look, you know, like a pine forest. You know, colder, denser, but oh yeah, this is where I discover the Arctic wolves have continent Arctic, even though, like, I double checked in the Zoopedia that they have continent. I think right now I'm like raging to my wife. Like, this is ridiculous. What is this? Yeah, I'm a little bit calmer about it now, but when I first saw that, I just dropped, you know, I don't know, 40 trees, and that was the whole design of the exhibit. It's like, yeah, we don't even have the continent Arctic. This is stupid. What the crap? You know what? Screw it. I'm putting these plants down anyway. They can deal with it. They're grown-ups. They're fine. But anyway, yeah, I'm just putting down the correct biome. You know, the tundra and taiga biomes here. Just kind of, again, making it look pretty snowy, but down here towards the bottom of the mountain, making it look a little bit more, you know, slightly warmer. That's why there's a lot more foliage, but again, I want to have that feel that it's cold up here. You know, this place doesn't get very warm. You know, maybe it's, you know, more like Alaska kind of thing, where it's cold most of the year, and then you've got, you know, brief moments of I guess, I mean, yeah, I mean, Arctic wolves are in Alaska, so, but, you know, the northern parts of the North America where they have, you know, these brief growing seasons. And one thing that bothers me is this caribou moss. If you don't know what caribou moss is, look it up. It looks nothing like this. That's kind of why I'm sinking it into these other bushes, even though it would kind of grow by itself, but it looks absolutely nothing like what they made. I'll plop a picture of it in here so you guys can see it. So there it is. That's what caribou moss looks like, and you know, that looks like nothing to what the game is portraying. So yeah, the exhibit's starting to take its kind of final shape here. Just going around doing some more rock work again. Like I said, I'm putting down some of these smaller rocks around the trees to make it look like the snow's kind of still piled up around the base of the tree. You know, it's either blown there and collected there, or the shade of the tree has, you know, shielded it from the sun so it hasn't melted as fast. It also adds just kind of a nice little texture and feel to the, you know, just that little detail that, you know, you're probably not going to notice, but it makes it all worth it, at least in my opinion. I'm saying that because I spent a long time dropping down rocks on the base of trees because it looked good. Again, it's probably like one of those things you're not going to notice, but hey, little details, right? Yeah. And plus, it makes it easy when you can just use the same axis as the tree and just kind of slide down some rocks. In hindsight, I probably should put these snow rocks down first, because it was pretty tricky to do it while there were a bunch of trees in the way. But I forgot to do it, so I guess I'm paying the price for that. Oh well. Anyway, I was trying to be careful not to push any of these rocks too far into the Timberwolf exhibit, because again, I didn't want that exhibit to appear too cold. Wanted it to look more more temperate in its climate. So yeah, the exhibit's foliage now is pretty much in its final state. We're gonna drop down the last remaining rock pieces here. We're gonna drop them down around the river again to make that kind of cliff that I was talking about earlier, to get rid of this kind of temporary makeshift fence that I just kind of threw down. So again, like I said, the animal could probably jump off this. I mean, it's not that tall. I mean, it'd probably hurt itself, but in terms of like, if a safety inspector was coming to this zoo and approving this, he'd probably go, no, you can't do that. But for the sake of the game, like, the game's not gonna let the animal jump off this this cliff. So we'll play by the game's rules when it's convenient, I guess. You know, not when they say the continent is Arctic. No, we're not playing by that rule. That rule's stupid. And just kind of trying to tuck the snow here into spots that would, in theory, be a little bit shaded. So as the sun would move over, you know, they would get probably like the midday sun, and then since the way some of these rocks are sloping, not so much in the evening sun. Definitely not anything in the morning sun, because there's that forest there. So again, trying to sell the illusion that this is cold. Oh yeah, and then I realized I had accidentally placed down temperate rocks instead of tundra rocks. I was like, ah, dang it, I gotta go redo my entire rock thing here. This sucks. But again, luckily we can just, you know, replace on the axis. So I'd find whatever rock is the one showing and replace it with the identical rock, and just kind of move it slightly so that I can click the temperate rock that was placed there originally in error. Or I guess Taiga rock, not temperate rocks. As you can see, I got the filter there for Taiga and Tundra. I don't know about you guys, but it always feels awkward pronouncing Taiga. It always sounds like you're like mispronouncing tiger. You know, it's a taiga! It's a taiga! Really just kind of filling in the dead space here, making jokes, but now we're back to building, so I don't have to rely on my horrible comedy. I'm sure you all are thankful for that now. Now, as I was building this out, you can see how we were getting a little close to the observation platform there. I did realize I made that a bit too close, so I did have to knock it back. I think when I was working on the polar bear exhibit, I finally went and pushed it back again because I kind of hit a creative block while building it. I don't know, like, I have an idea in my head on how it wants to look, but it's not working out, especially with the path pieces not being exactly kind of where I wanted them to be. So I'll kind of have to fiddle with that a little bit more and try to figure it out. But yeah, so that's why there's still kind of an awkward platform there. I think we've had it in there for a couple episodes now. I'm not sure if I'm going to even use it, to be honest. I do want an observation platform, but I don't know. I'm not liking how it's looking. So at least a couple times I've gone in there and I've tried to build something on it. It feels too heavy. Might be the right word. You know, it doesn't look like the other buildings I've got going. You know, it feels too blocky, too chunky, too something, you know? Like it's I don't know, I don't like it. Long story short. Now I'm just going around and placing down the habitat enrichment, trying to put these feeders, these enrichment items, places that would get the animal into a spot that would allow guests to be able to see them. You know, putting them kind of heavy towards the front of the exhibit. Also kind of tucking them in places I just want them to walk to, because I think it would be interesting to see them in that spot. We're also going to go in here and create their hard shelter by building a little cave. And I don't really think you'll see this from the outside, at least when you're where the supposed observation platform is going to be. You're definitely not going to see it. But anyway, needed to give the animals some hard shelter, so best place to do it is up here in this cave, up here in this cave that I'm building now, but up here in the mountain where I can actually put a cave. The hitboxes on the... I wish there was some option somewhere where I could highlight the hitbox, because I don't think they're always completely accurate to what the piece's model is. So like if you look here in a second, when I place these, like that looks like it's got enough room for the animal to get in. And you go to the heat map and it's not. And so you have to make this kind of larger opening for them than I think would be realistic. But again, it's close. It looks fine, you know. Yeah, I mean, look, that looks like the animal should be able to get in there. That's plenty wide for them. Just adding a few more details here, dropping down some fallen trees, some dead trees. Yeah, just kind of adding a little bit more texture and interest to the area. Yeah, and then moving our floating trees back. I wish we had some more variety of these broken trees. You know, some more trees that are broken, not just the Scots pine, the birch, and there's like a Himalayan one as well, Himalayan pine, I think. But because I mean, they really do add realism to the exhibit. You know, you're not going to see pristine forest without any old dead trees in the wild, so having that option where we can add some of these old dead trees is nice. Now we're going to work on our little keeper hut here. I had the idea to make it into a log cabin, but kind of a haphazard log cabin, you know, like, I mean, a cabin that's sturdy and built and, you know, it's going to be fine, but it obviously looks, you know, do-it-yourself, homemade kind of thing. You know, like right here we're making the logs a little bit off-center from each other. They're not evenly placed. Just kind of adding a little bit more character than just the log cabin piece that we have in the game. Also giving it kind of a stone foundation here to add a little bit more realism, or maybe not realism, but a little bit more strength to the building, you know, making it look like it actually is kind of sturdy and not just a janky log cabin. Also adds a little bit of texture, you know, makes it look a little more interesting in my opinion. But yeah, just wanted to make a little cute log cabin again because I'm kind of hitting creative block on the larger buildings, so making a smaller building like this was a little refreshing. Again, like I said, like the logs aren't cut perfectly straight. They're just kind of up there. They're, you know, they're close, but it's it'll pass inspection, right? It's actually kind of tricky to select some of these pieces. Their hitboxes weren't really lining up the way I thought, you know, or when I was clicking, their hitboxes weren't in that spot, so to say. Especially like those little 1 meter pieces. That seems to be kind of the truth for a lot of the 1 meter pieces, is that their hitbox doesn't seem to be where the piece is actually displaying. It's kind of odd, so it makes it tricky to click them sometimes, especially when you're trying to do that like mass select. You have to go much wider than what you would expect. So yeah, there's the kind of rough shape of it. We're now going to build just like a little roof piece here and kind of put a dirt roof on top. This was actually kind of surprisingly tricky. It was kind of hard to get things to line up just so. especially when we kind of went inside to fill in the peak there. Not inside the building, even though that just kind of happened while I was talking. Inside the fill of peak, it didn't quite line up. You can see, yeah, we're starting to have some struggles with it because I wanted a little bit of an eave on the roof with these larger timber pieces. But getting them centered actually proved to be a little bit of a challenge. You see, we look down at there and it's off center, and that's off center, and it's all off center. Of course, we're building off the world grid, so that makes it even trickier. Again, following the old saying, always build on the world grid. But it works out in the end. Just a little bit of extra fiddling that probably wasn't needed if it was just on the world axis. Now, luckily, the mulch pieces here have quite a bit of depth to them. So we could kind of nestle in those logs without them looking absolutely ridiculous. Now, I originally thought I was going to put down some like grasses on top. But I don't know, it looked too goofy. As you can see here, it's like, that looks horrible. Smaller grasses? Let's try the smaller grasses. No, those don't look good either. Hedges? Hedges don't look bad, but no hedges. They're too flat. Then I had the idea of, let me grab some of these flower pieces and then we'll make a nice flower roof. That'd be pretty. And oh my gosh, it's purple. It's terrible. Oh, hey, the back of this looks pretty good. Let's just turn these things over and we still get our flowers, and look at that, we got leaves. So that was a complete by accident discovery. Just to kind of flip these guys upside down, and look at that, you got a nice kind of bush leaf texture under there. So yeah, that actually turned out pretty well. At least for the kind of living roof. Now, I was going to put a little sign here. Of course, being the perfectionist I am, I tried to go find what the official hex code for national park signs are. That brown green that they got. I couldn't find it anywhere. I found it once before. I should actually just open up the files that I put that color in, because I should have just done that instead of spent 20 minutes looking for it online. It was in some obscure document, I think it was supposed to be meant as an internal document for the National Park Service, and it somehow ended up on the public web, but it was all about their requirements for what's it called? When you go off and you do proofing, all your requirements for print proofing. What everything should be. It should be Pantone, yada yada yada, and it's this hex code and that hex code. It was a lovely document. I probably should have saved it, but I saved the important bits somewhere. So yeah, I just kind of hung this little sign up, and just made it a little swinging sign. Now just kind of decorated around the outside here, putting in some lights, a little floodlight out here. Just trying to get it to a gross yellow look that the those lights that are just kind of always on outside have. I think they're the high pressure sodium ones that They're kind of yellow. Just added a little bit of dirt to the wheelbarrow here as well to make it look like, you know, it gets used. It's not just there for decoration. I don't know. Maybe it's poop. We won't think about it. Yeah, I was trying to move the gate there a little bit closer to the wall, or to the keeper hut, but the game was just not having it, so... I don't know why it does this. You can see like the top here, it kind of has this weird curve to it. You can't get rid of it for anything. Like, I don't know what causes it. It's frustrating because you got like this weird, like, janky looking electric fence now, which, I mean, it was alright. I think I finally said, you know, I'll just rebuild it as a nice fence, which I don't think I have video for because we're almost done with this video. So close out with some cinematics, and you'll see the nice fence there. I'll guarantee that. So yeah, we'll close out with some cinematics here, and I'll catch you all at the next one. Thanks for watching.